Buying a new crown is an incredibly complicated thing. Where do you start looking? I'm guessing they're probably not going to let me look in there. How do you choose? There are so many things on YouTube to have a look at. Well, at least there were until the last few days ago. I mean, for example, this one, that's the Ted. And that one, well, that's the Steve. And this one, this is the Matt. And this one is the Jonathan. But the end fell off. However, none of those are really what I'm looking for. I think I'm going to have to go to my local gun shop. Morning, I'd like a new crown, please.
Bear with me.
That's nice, what's that?
The new FX crown.
Who's that for?
I got the AirgunGear guy here to collect it. There you go. I've seen your videos. You do know what you're doing with this, don't you?
This video contains a review of a pellet rifle. It's powered entirely by compressed air and uses no gunpowder and must not be confused with any form of tactical firearm, and my targets are paper and tins. Always shoot safely and show consideration to others around you. This is the crown from FX Airguns of Sweden, and mine is the blue laminate version. But you can get them in black pepper, walnut, laminate forest green, and now black synthetic. Mine is .22 caliber, and thus it's an 18-shot magazine, and it's the jumbo magazine system. Starting at the shoulder end, you've got a 3D adjustable shoulder pad, which is attached to the Manelli thumb hole stock. Smooth and sleek in style. Adjustable cheek piece, generous grip, and stippled forend. The trigger feels the same as my Impact. Others have noticed that. It's fully adjustable and black in colour. Variations on the trigger are possible. Loading is side lever action, giving a quick shot every time. Resettable safety on the right, and on the left, 2 further dials. The first one at the rear is the hammer spring adjuster. That has been cut out through the stock, and that's a really nice touch. The dial at the front adjusts the transfer port. And no, all you British sub 12 foot-pounders, don't get excited. Variations are possible, but going over that magic 12 foot-pound by adjusting these dials ain't gonna happen. On FAC and high power models, you have got adjustability on the regulator, just there. But if you're shooting and restricted by the sub 12 foot-pound law, your rifle's going to stay sub 12 foot-pounds. The gun is filled using a quick fill port on the underside, using a Foster adapter, and you fill to 250 bar. That air is controlled through the super efficient valving system from FX. And yep, that's of course regulated. That regulator is monitored by the pressure gauge underneath. One for the fill pressure of the carbon 480cc cylinder and one for the regulator. Now, pay attention. A regulator on an air gun is super important. It means that every time you fire that gun, you're getting the same squirt of air launching that pellet downrange time after time. You get no power curve. Let me show you. So if this is your feet per second and this is your number of shots, with a regulated gun, when you shoot, you get a flat shot string all the way across until you come off reg pressure just there. So it's nice and flat. If you don't have a regulator, you get a power curve. So you get sort of a curve at this end and a curve at that end. And you only get a set of sweet spots in the middle there. So a regulator on a rifle is essential. And with that free floating hammer system that FX rifles have, it means that matched with that super efficient regulator, you get a consistent shot time and time again. Next, we need to talk about the barrel, because it is the new Smooth Twist X system. The original Smooth Twist system had the twisting externally on the barrel in the last few inches. But the X system now has the twist all the way down the barrel. FX, so they can change the rate of that twist. You can also change calibers by purchasing additional FX barrel kits. Let's talk about accuracy, and at 25 and 50 yards, the Crown does exactly what you would expect it to. What I'm showing you now isn't a 3-shot group. It's not a 5-shot group or a 10-shot group. They are all 18-shot groups. This is the 25-yard group of the day, and all bar these 3 or 4 here, which I have to say are all me, I have 14 through that hole right there, which is the size of a 2.2 pellet. And this group above, well, that hole has had 36 pellets through it. At 50 yards, I've got 13 within half an inch. And remember, that's 2.2 sub 12 foot-pounds. At 25 yards, I'm using JSB 15.9s on max power, port setting 17722. But at 50 yards, I'm using H&N Sniper Lights 14s on power setting 4. You see, the gun is all about adjustability. Yes, you can just whack it up to full power and go for it. But if you want to get even tighter groups, then you can adjust, and adjust again. Max power, it's consistent. But without doubt for me, past 25 yards, it loves the Sniper Lights. I think that's probably down to the extra few feet per second you get with them. I miss the single shot aspect on the rifle out of the box, but you do feel like the king of the castle when you're shooting the Crown. 3 months I've been shooting the Crown before I put the review out, and I've had to learn everything about that X barrel system, what works and what doesn't. But when you get 14 through that hole there like that, you know you've done something right, and you feel that you should be knighted for services to accuracy. Everyone loves, got it, a bit of scope cam footage, don't they? Shooting that smooth twist system really is remarkable. It's like nothing else I've ever shot before in an air rifle. You have to have some follow through with it. Because the crosshairs put that pellet exactly where they're pointing, if you wobble or move after you've pulled that trigger, you're going to be just outside the bullseye. So follow through is super important, but it hits the bullseye every time. The X barrel system ain't for someone who wants a sub 300 pound tin can basher. It's for someone who is a committed shooter. They want to practice, learn and experience a new way of putting a pellet downrange. The barrel extends from 47.5 to 52.5 centimetres in length. Extending that barrel also helps to moderate the sound. Extend or decrease that moderation by moving this locking nut. And removing the barrel for cleaning is easy. You undo these 2 screws here. And the liner comes out at the end, should you wish to access that. The 480cc carbon bottle on the Crown is also removable, so you can swap it out in the field. Now with that carbon bottle in sub 12 power format in 2.2, I'm getting 700 plus shots from a 250 bar fill. If you're going to shoot more than 700 shots on a pest bashing day, you've got a day of a lifetime. But it does mean that when you go to the range, you probably don't need to take your extra bottle. Right in the middle of the bullseye. Now, I have to say that for a sub 12 foot-pound rifle, I'm sort of at the limit what the scope can do with the mounts, even though they're height adjustable mounts. I want to be able to wind them back to 25 yards, etc., etc. So I've got it set really to the maximum of what it can do. And at 100 yards, I'm telling you that I've just put 3 in the bullseye. No wind, you've got to wait for the wind to die down a little bit. The barrel, that X barrel, seems to get better with distance on the sub 12 foot-pound rifle. It's actually quite incredible. Learn, adjust and re-educate. And when you get that right, all you have to do is beat the wind. And at 100 yards with a sub 12 foot-pound, 1.5 inch targets are easy. Oh, boom! Have a high power crown, and from what I've seen from others on YouTube, we have a revolution in our hands. The Enigma that is the Impact and the Cap that is Wild gives you tactical and bullpup options, and now the Crown brings you the traditional bottle rifle. The Crown weighs without scope just a shade over 7 pounds and is 105 centimetres in length, and it has dovetail scope mounting points. I've attached the Javelin bipod to my Crown, and there is just enough wood at the front to put a stud in the rifle, but I would suggest measure twice and drill once, and when you do fit, take the carbon bottle off until you're finished. Megan will be Harry's first wife, and Catherine is now married to William, so if you want to get into the royal family, you're gonna have to buy yourself a crown. It's top of the heap, king of the pile, Lord of the Ring. I'll stop there. You might buy the Crown because you liked the idea of the Impact but didn't like the looks, and you wanted something more traditional. Well, there you go. And that X barrel, well, it is without doubt extra special, if you see what I did there. The Crown is a fantastic development from that brain that is Freddie Axelson of FX Airguns. And I have to say that if you want to join the royal family from now on, you're gonna have to get yourself a Crown.